My manager smiled and said, "Everyone who cleared their quota can clock out. Everyone else, wait here." I'd cleared mine twice over, so when I stood, I froze, because Daniel raised a hand and said, "Actually, Marcus stays." We flagged his account. We hated these late-night reviews. But why me? I'd been the top closer for 6 months. Half the floor grabbed their jackets and left, laughing, already texting under the table. But Daniel kept glancing at me the way you glance at something you're about to drop. "Everyone on the morning shift, you're free too," he said. More desks emptied. He looked at me again before adding, "Everyone who didn't open the Henderson file this week can go." He knew I'd opened it. He'd watched me open it. That was the file with the numbers that didn't add up, the transfers I'd emailed HR about that same morning. I looked around and the office was empty except for me. "Daniel, please, I'll miss my bus." But he didn't move toward the door. He walked to it and turned the lock. "You should have kept your head down," he said quietly. "You were always too curious." I tried to laugh it off. "Come on, man, it's just a spreadsheet." But then Ray walked out of the back office, the man who'd hired me, who took me to lunch my first week and called me kid. "Nice work, Daniel," he said. "He's the one who sent that email." My stomach dropped. "Ray, you trained me." "Why?" He didn't answer. He just nodded, and Daniel grabbed my arm. His grip was so tight it hurt. I yanked back and knocked a monitor off a desk. Ray got behind me and pressed a rag over my mouth so fast I couldn't even shout. Everything went soft and gray. When I came to, I was folded into a car trunk. It was hot, it smelled like gasoline, and my wrists were zip-tied in front of me. The car was moving. My phone was gone. My shoes were gone. I forced myself to breathe. Then I remembered an old survival video. Some guy showing you how to punch out a taillight from the inside so the drivers behind you can see your hand. I felt along the cold metal until I found the housing, braced my back against the seats, and kicked until the plastic cracked and cool night air rushed in. I shoved my tied hands through the hole and waved them, screaming into the dark, praying one car behind us had a phone out. The car swerved hard. I heard Ray curse. We slowed, gravel crunching under the tires, and the trunk popped open. Daniel's face was red. He leaned in and hissed that if I tried that again, they'd make it look like I ran off with the missing money myself, that no one would even bother looking for me. Then he climbed in beside me and pulled the lid half down. We drove again. I lay there in the dark doing the math on my own life. I thought about my mom, who still texted me every night to make sure I got home safe. She had no idea where I was. Then I heard it, a siren, faint, then louder. The car slowed. Daniel pressed a finger to his lips. I heard boots on gravel, an officer asking Ray about a report, a hand waving from a trunk on the interstate. Ray laughed and said it was nothing, just a busted light he'd fix tomorrow. The officer asked to see the trunk anyway. Ray stalled, said the latch was jammed, he'd need a minute. It was now or never. I screamed as loud as my raw throat would let me and slammed both feet into the lid, again and again. Daniel grabbed for my legs. The trunk flew up. The second that officer saw a zip-tied man and Daniel lunging at him, 2 more cruisers skidded in behind us. They had Ray face down on the shoulder in seconds. Daniel ran and made it maybe 30 feet. The transfers I'd emailed that morning were already sitting in an investigator's inbox. Turned out Ray had been skimming the company for 9 years, and I was the name it was all supposed to land on. I still keep that HR email starred. It's the only reason I'm alive to type this. Sometimes the top performer they keep back late isn't the one getting promoted. He's the one getting erased.